Hello, good day to you all. We are the Group 5 and we'll be discussing the reproduction system.
The male reproductive system functions to produce, maintain, transport, and nourish sperm, to discharge sperm within the female reproductive tract, to produce and secrete male sex hormones.
An erection starts in your brain, something you sense like a sensation when you see, hear, feel, or smell something makes your nerves send chemical messages to the blood vessels in your penis. The arteries relax and opens and blood rushes in. At the same time, the veins close up. Once blood is in the penis, pressure traps it within the corpora cavernosa. Your penis expands and holds the erection. Cases when this happens is when you have seen something like a woman that you desire, and things like your imaginations.
There is a condition wherein you are unable to ejaculate called anejaculation. Parts: the scrotum, a dual-chambered suspended sac of skin and smooth muscle that contains the testes. Controls the temperature of the testes to make it slightly lower than the rest of the body. Testes produces the male gametes or sperm, produces the hormone testosterone and other androgens. All healthy male vertebrates have a pair of testes. The penis. It is the intromittent organ of a male's reproductive and urinary functions. The female reproductive system functions: enable reproduction of the species. Sexual maturation is the process that this system undergoes in order to carry out its role in the process of pregnancy and birth. Parts: major female reproductive system, internal. The uterus, site of fetal growth and is hormonally responsive. The ovaries, site of gamete production or egg cells. The fallopian tube, a narrow tubes that are attached to the upper part of the uterus and serves as tunnels for the egg cells to travel from the ovaries to the uterus. The vagina, canal that joins the cervix, the lower part of the uterus, to the outside of the body, aka the birth canal. The main external structures of female reproductive system. The labia majora, enclose and protect the other external reproductive organs, translated as the large lips. Relatively large and fleshy, and are comparable to the scrotum in males. It also contains sweat and oil secreting glands. The labia minora, translated as small lips, can be very small or up to 2 inches wide. They lie just inside the labia majora and surround the openings to the vagina and urethra. The clitoris. 2 labia minora meet at the clitoris, a small, sensitive protrusion that is comparable to the penis in males. Covered by a fold of skin called the prepuce, which is similar to the foreskin and at the end of the penis. Very sensitive to stimulation and can become erect. The Bartholin's glands. Glands that are located beside the vaginal opening and produce a fluid secretion. Menstrual cycle mostly occur every 28 days. Monthly cycle of follicle and egg maturation, release of an egg, ovulation, and preparation of the uterine lining for pregnancy. Continue to occur until a woman reaches menopause. Follicular phase. Beginning of the menstrual cycle. The hormones follicle stimulating hormone or FSH and luteinizing hormone LH are released from the pituitary gland to stimulate the ovaries. In turn, the ovaries produce estrogen and stimulate the maturation of about 15 to 20 eggs in the ovaries inside small cystic areas known as follicles. Once estrogen levels begins to rise, the secretion of FSH is reduced by the feedback system so that follicle stimulation ceases at the appropriate time. Ovulation occurs at the midpoint of the menstrual cycle. Estrogen production from the dominant follicle leads to a sharp rise in LH secretion, causing the dominant follicle to release its egg. Egg is swept into the fallopian tube by thin structures on the ends of the tubes known as fimbriae. At this time, the cervix produces an increased amount of thin mucus that assists sperm in the passage into the uterus. The tail phase begins at ovulation, egg release. After the ovulation, the empty follicle turns into a cystic mass of cells called the corpus luteum. They produce progesterone, a hormone that readies the lining of the uterus for implantation of a fertilized egg. If an egg has been fertilized, the fertilized egg travels down one of the fallopian tubes into the uterus and implants in the uterine lining tissue. If fertilization of an egg has not occurred, the lining of the uterus eventually breaks down and is shed, resulting in menstrual bleeding. The menopause, which a woman has not had a menstrual period for 12 consecutive months. End of a woman's fertility and occurs on average at 51 years of age, though the time of menopause can vary widely. Hormone levels drop and some women experience unpleasant effects from the lowered hormone levels, including hot flashes, mood changes, headache, tiredness, and sleep disturbances.
Now, to prepare myself into having a family, I first checked on my mindset that, hey, I'm ready to have a child. So I advise to all the ladies there that see your obstetricians, consult them so that all the vaccination that you need, vitamins like folic acid for vaccination, I have to make sure that I had my MMR vaccine. Then for folic acid, supplement iron so that my hemoglobin is okay. And then make sure that your overall mind and body is healthy. You're healthy. So I also take healthy food and diet and did some exercise. So I was blessed to have two healthy child, a girl and a boy. At first, I was doing my regular walking, because I was hoping that I can have a normal delivery. But my pregnancy reached up to 41 weeks and still there was no engagement. So the night before I gave birth, I had a blood show, and then we have to undergo ultrasound, and they found out that the fluid was only 50%. So I had an emergency cesarean section with a baby girl, my eldest. And the second one was a 1 year interval, so I cannot have a trial normal delivery because it's not safe. So I had two cesarean section delivery. Postpartum effects that affected my body were, first, I kind of weaker as compared to before, and I need more sleep and rest. And in terms of immunity, I became more sensitive, and that I have to take vitamins to ensure that I don't be sick for the child. For my second child, I had cramps that I thought it was just normal, but when I timed it, it seems that I'm about to give birth. So I have to rush to the hospital, which is around 4 days earlier than my expected date, to undergo a cesarean section. Well, I felt the first quickening of the baby inside of me around 13 weeks, or equal to 4 months. At first, I thought it was just a normal regurgitation, but then I just realized, oh, there's a life inside me, that a very active child inside my womb.